Hi everyone, my name's Mark Osterhaus. I'm the pastor here at St. Patrick Church in Waukon, as well as St. Mary's in Hanover and St. Mary's in Dorchester. And Mike Erickson has been helping to put these live streams together, and so we're trying it on Facebook today. I wanted to make several announcements that came from the Archbishop. You may have already heard about them, but I just wanted to make sure that you are aware. The first is the Archbishop has dispensed people in our archdiocese from the obligation of eating meat on Friday, and that applies to this coming Friday, March 27th, and also Friday, April 3rd. It does not include Good Friday. We'll still abstain from meat on Good Friday this year. The dispensation is granted in view of the difficulty people might have in finding meal alternatives to meat or to go out for grocery shopping. The Fridays of Lent remain days of prayer and penance. Those who are able to abstain from meat should do so. Those who aren't able to abstain should perform some other act of penance. An example of an alternative penance might be to bear up silently and with calm under the extraordinary strains and burdens of being cooped up at home. Another announcement I wanted to make is Mike will help in making a separate presentation that you can click on for Mass on March 25th, and that's the Feast of the Annunciation, and it has even more significance this year, in which the Catholic faithful all over the world are being invited by Pope Francis to a day of fast, abstinence, and prayer. And so this is voluntary, it's not obligatory. But on that day, which we're recording this on March 24th, so it's tomorrow, Wednesday, people ordinarily bound on Ash Wednesday to fast, which means only one full meal, taking less at the other meals, and abstaining from meat are invited to make those same sacrifices. And as far as prayer is concerned, the Rosary is recommended as a powerful prayer, prayed alone or with others. Since this is a special feast of Mary, it's the day in which the angel Gabriel came with a message from God and asked Mary if she would be willing to become the mother of the Son of God. And this is, since it's March 25th, it's 9 months before December 25th, and so that's why we celebrate this feast on March 25th. Also, our Holy Father, Pope Francis, has asked that on March 25th, everyone who glories in the name Christian pray the Our Father to beg God for speedy deliverance from the evil of the coronavirus, for those who are sick or who live in fear of infection, and for those who care for the sick and elderly, for those who live in fear for their lives and livelihood, that we might all remain calm and confident in God's wisdom, power, and goodness. Another announcement from the Archbishop is about Friday, March 27th. And everyone's invited to participate spiritually via live stream, and you can go to vaticannews.va. That's vaticannews.va, in a special moment of prayer presided over by our Holy Father, Pope Francis. The Pope will pray on the front steps of St. Peter's Basilica. There will be readings from sacred scripture, prayers of petition, and adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. At the conclusion, the Holy Father will give a special blessing. Those who participate live stream can gain the plenary indulgence attached to the Pope's blessing. Another announcement that the Archbishop made for us priests is that we are not to respond to the request to come in person to anoint someone who has the coronavirus if they are confined to their homes. In such a case, the priest could pray with the person over the phone. Hospitals and nursing homes have their own protocols for close contact with patients who have coronavirus, and often their own chaplains. If a priest is called to a hospital or nursing home, and if he is allowed in, he must follow their protocols, and if the priest does that, he should not have to self-quarantine for 14 days. This was after consultation with public health officials, medical personnel, and another bishop, and so this is what the Archdiocese has asked us to do. Also, in regard to funerals, the Archbishop writes, a priest would not have to self-quarantine after celebrating the funeral services for a person who died from coronavirus, even if family members are present who may have had close contact. Again, the practice of social distancing is presumed when planning and celebrating funerals, and these funerals are not to have more than 10 people in attendance, and the same for burials. So I wanted to pass all those on to you. I also, while I was traveling yesterday, I went home to see my parents, and they're doing fine, and I appreciate all of your prayers for me and for my family and for our staff here. I was listening to the radio, and there's a woman named Lynn Unger, who's a Universalist pastor, and so from the Unitarian Church. And so she's also a poet, and so Pastor Lynn Unger wrote this poem entitled Pandemic. Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel. Cease from buying and selling. Give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing. Pray. Touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny that now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. That poem is written by Pastor Lynn Unger. Her last name is spelled U-N-G-E-R. She's a Unitarian Church pastor, and she wrote this poem, which has been entitled Pandemic. Thanks for tuning in. There will be a separate click that you can make for a Mass for March 25th, and we're about to record that now. God bless all of you.